Hi everyone, back again for your twin flame reading. Now I've pulled some chakra cards. Again, if you're wanting a booking, go to the link directly below. Enough give gab. So at times I get guided and I'm feeling a sense that now is the time for an update with the twin flame connections and where people are going. Now for me physically, when I receive energy, it can be an overload of energy at times. So in order for me to process it, to be able to deliver it to you in the correct manner, you're guided at the correct time when the messages are supposed to come through. Now I've pulled a chakra card for the masculine and the feminine, and this is for Team A and Team B. Now if you do recall back from the previous video, there are 3 stages of the twin flames. Now when I'm saying stages, there are three groups going through this transition at the minute, I physically feel, and that's the ones that are actually none the wiser. So this at some point in their life may become relevant to them, you know, of a pattern and a theory and an understanding to the connection of it. And there's the first stage of twins where they're moving towards the union, and the other set of twins, they're going through the transition of it. So you could be anywhere in between, but the energies and your journey will be directly individual for you. Now, as I said in the previous video, there will be times when you can actually directly look at your zodiac sign and you're going about your life and it's moving very pleasantly, and you can work with those energies within the actual zodiac sign. And then there are other times when you have that sense of awakening that you may find that your horoscope won't directly relate, that you will physically need to look at a twin flame video, but it's always going to be, you need to keep in mind the fact of what's relevant. When there are blocks, a twin flame video as such is not going to give you the assistance you need. You will physically need a booking to be able to work with the blockages and the areas and the things that you are environmentally feeling are blocking and hindering you. So back to the cards I've picked. We have heart chakra for the masculine, and at the moment they're coming to a point where they're actually going inside themselves. So they're opening their heart chakra. So for them to actually have that space to be able to physically do that is not a forceful energy. Therefore, the feeling and the sense and the vibration I'm getting is that the feminine has used their intuition to retreat. Now, they're then having, in turn, a time where they can physically get to their point. They can actually feel how they're physically feeling without the push, without the expectation, and in a peaceful sense be able to do that without a forceful energy connected to it. You also are following your intuition and your third eye. So you're listening to your life more so. You're understanding that you don't necessarily need to see it to believe it, because you can feel it. So you're on a page, so to speak. Now, as I was shuffling and cleansing the cards, a card did fall out. And between you, it can be a sense of communication. So heart-to-heart conversations, that can be on the 3D or it can be on the 5D. So it can be in physical form or at a point where telepathically speaking, you may start having dreams, you might start seeing songs, you may smell a perfume or a cologne, because the energies can bounce back and forward however it directly relates. Now, straight off the bat, I'm going to do the reading for the twins that are closer to union. Then we will get back to group A, who are in that transitional stage, and we can do theirs, because there's a lot of energy coming through, and I've had to do this video 3 times to kind of work out the correct way I could bring the energy together, because the heaviest energy that's coming through at the moment, for those of you that are actually sort of changing at the minute. Okay, so I am picking up a sense that with the feminine, connection and communication may have happened. Now, I do feel this is something that has already transpired. And within that communication, cross wires as such may have come about. Now, through that cross wire, it hasn't been a sense of you have misunderstood what has been expressed. What has been expressed has not been the correct method for them or you at that given point in time to correctly communicate truth. So the way in which you're going to handle that energy, feminine, is going to be very different. You may find all of a sudden the environment feels like there is a complete shift, and it feels like a swap of energy. Where one was the runner, it feels the feminine now may actually be the runner. And it's sort of like a energy coming through of morphing, where you're having an epiphany moment through physically visiting some of the masculine's energy for an intuitive process to understand perhaps the roads they've had to walk. Now, you must understand that on both sides, where you're physically looking outside at the given situation whilst not in union, what you are going to find is be careful what you reflect out, because what you physically see as a lack in them is a lack within yourself. So if you're thinking, why are they doing A, B, C, and D? Try and use that as a tool and as a resume and have a look at it. And just be very, very conscious about your thoughts, because your thoughts are actually speaking to you about what directly is going on with you. And it's very much like a psychic when they're giving a reading. It is never very one-sided, and it isn't, because even when I give readings, there is physically a message within it for my life as a whole, for me to spiritually grow. So there's always something we can look at. So try not to deflect out where you should be perhaps looking inside yourself as to maybe the reasons why blocks can be there. Never intend these videos to be long, but they can be. Okay. Masculine's going through some interesting energy. I'll pull two more. So for the feminines, I feel as though there are aspects of yourself that are coming through where you had put things on hold, and I do hear time being an issue, time on the clock, time frame, and plans of action that you're wanting to physically move forward with. You're frustrated at the fact that in your mind there is time, and it's almost like it's not directly linked to in your mind. It's a physical thing that is requiring to happen due to a sense of pieces in your puzzle needing to be put together, and that physically a left or right scenario in life. And I feel somehow this is directly related perhaps to work. It could be to location, home, but it's directly related to something connected to your personal life. So there is a reason why the vibration feels semi-rushed. Now, be careful the energy and the frequency that you're sending out. Actually note the fact that, yes, you're aware that there is this shift within you, but realize that a lot of the energy that you're physically feeling, they're also feeling that on the other side, which you're well aware of. I do feel if in fact, as I'm sensing, conversations have happened, the way in which you worded things was appropriate for the time. So please don't get to a point you think, gosh, I wish I hadn't said that. There's reasons why the things that were said in the way they were. and they were necessary for forward movement. But you're blocking yourselves at the moment. You do have an awful lot on your plate and you're moving forward, and this can be very creatively, it can be very emotionally, but you're manifesting and you're feeling very tired. Now for some, you may physically envision wanting to sleep. And I don't mean at an intimate level, I'm feeling more on a resting level, where you're physically feeling with your twin, you want to sleep. But there is a shift within this connection, I'm feeling. And there will be communication as such. Okay. The energy that the masculine is coming in with is a sense of vulnerability, and by opening up their heart chakra, it's actually creating that sense of vulnerability. But they're needing to step into that energy, and by you removing yourself or your energy from the situation, what you're going to find is the connections inside, for them to actually understand the depth of the connection, is absolutely necessary by you retreating back. So giving this space and this sense of time where you have that panic connected to time at the moment, if you can remove that energy frequency, this heart chakra is going to be worked on a lot quicker. Also, their intuition is very connected to this given situation, and spiritually and emotionally and psychically, they're actually aware of your vibration. So it's actually warning you. It's saying if you're sending a vibration out of a sense of panic, you can actually help ground the other person like a plug. So you need to physically come to a point where it's like you're working two jobs. You need to manage the energy, so to speak. You need to manage the dynamic. If you're feeling you can't manage your twin's energy, you need to manage your own, and that can help them do their work, because then it's that sense of allowing and letting be, so this person can actually start moving forward. Okay, they're actually very cross with themselves at the moment, and it can be where they felt in the past that they had invested and given in relationships or given situations that they're feeling that they picked very poorly. So they're having this epiphany moment, and it's a sense of processing that they're actually doing, which is absolutely necessary for the heart to heal, for it to be open in order for them to be able to give anything, because they can't actually give if they don't have. So that sense of understanding is coming through in a sense of clarity for them. Okay, now with this card, I always directly connect it to the twins. Again, I'm not picking this as a negative card. I'm picking it more in a sense of the temptation, the connection, trying to keep the balance, trying to process and understand what is actually going on, and feeling almost that they haven't been able to trust their heart in the past, and they're now coming to that understanding and realization of why, due to the fact that perhaps they had invested in situations incorrectly. So it wasn't that their heart was incorrect, they had the warning signs, but it was a lesson within that situation that they had to learn. So you had to let them go to learn that. So it wasn't a personal thing, it was a soul contract situation, in a sense of a road they had to take in order to understand and process what was to be learned. They're also very protective of their heart, their life, and the people around them. They're also very protective, thinking that something is going to be stolen. So a sense of urgency could be that you are going to be stolen, that their time is going to be stolen, that their heart is going to be stolen. So they're processing this, and I do feel this environment and this sense of them feeling very anxious connected to this. They're very concerned about what people think, and they're actually trying to turn that energy, and it's really dragging them down at the minute. But the card that fell out on the masculine side is interesting. You're on their mind. The twin, the connection, when, how, the processing they're doing is very... I don't feel it's connected to ego. I feel the energy has moved through that. I feel they're very much looking at things from a very reality-based situation and a huge... I don't even feel the energy to be anxious. I don't even feel it to be angry. It's just a very understanding kind of processing sort of energy they're going through at the moment. It doesn't feel freaked out or cross or anxious, but it's just this huge self-awareness they have going on right now. It's like they've woken up. Through this process of feeling vulnerable and having their psychic intuition, they hate the fact that they actually have this. It's frustrating, it's a burden to them, and they're trying to process that information. These are new cards, by the way, they're for next month, but okay, so this is in reverse. They're not seeing the benefit in it, but when they do the work and they use their psychic abilities and they realise through some of these things that they're physically going through, it is a blessing. That energy can actually turn around and serve them to a degree. And the only way they're going to be able to wake up as well is to be able to understand that where they invested poorly and their connection to you and temptation and confusion and trying to do too much and getting themselves in a way, having very hard learning curves, you know, it's they're going into, it's like a hanged man. It's like they're going into a hanged man stance. So, okay, what I'm hearing is it's like they're in a cave, like they're a bat, and they're sleeping on it. They're thinking on it. They're meditating on it. And as they're going through that, the only way they can actually wake up is by having these epiphanies, doing that work. And you can't help them do that work. You can remotely. We'll have to look at your energy, but they need to do this work. And unless they've done it, they're not going to be open. Even if you stood next to them today, until they have done that, they're not going to be able to give or reciprocate what you can offer, which your energy has changed as well. And you're going through a lot of what they used to go through. And where they were fearful, things in their family and their love life would physically be taken away, and it can be connected to childhood. And that there will be gossip connected to the connection, or that they're scared they're going to hear something, or it's connected to them. It's really hindering them to shine, to be able to be themselves, because they're overprotecting themselves due to their fear connected to everything that has transpired in their life. But the very fact that they're going into that heart chakra and looking at it from a very rational point of view is very positive, because they're having a sense of realization. And like I said, they're not intentionally blocking these scenarios, but by them physically during the week, I feel they're going to be transitioning through and assessing it. It's going to help them get to that pivotal point of understanding. Okay, pull some clarities on that. Yeah, they're going into hermit mode just to do the work. And I do feel it's for the first week, or for a week, I'm hearing. Yeah. Okay. So they're coming to a point where they're not going to be communicating or engaging in any sense of contact. It's going to be quiet, or this has already transpired. And they're not even wanting anyone around them or to get to know anyone. So it isn't even about another person. It's physically about the fact that they're needing this. They know who their divine feminine is. And they're doing the work and having, I just feel it to be very quiet, very calm, very quiet, very intuitive and heart orientated of what they're processing at the moment. Okay, feminines. Okay. For some of you, there is either internally a sense of separation or a physical separation from a location or again from the twin. This feels more from a separate situation, but there is a sense of separation in any stance. Okay, in a way, you're taking your power back. And this whole transition has really paused for you. So it's paused for you whereby you have said for so long you've been ready. Physically speaking, it needed you to go through this transitional stage to understand your inner strength, because so much of what you have actually accomplished, had the separation not happened, you would not have known how strong you actually were, what dreams were, co-creating on situations, and this is all transpired because of separation. And I think with your third eye, you're physically saying that. But the environment at the moment is feeling very unstable around you. So wherever you are, whatever you are doing, try and ground yourself. When instability is there, it can be, it's like a tower moment. Unless a tower moment happens, you can't rebuild. Rebuilding life happens day in, day out in any shape or form. You're changing. So what you're doing is you're throwing things out, and this could be physically throwing things out. You might find all of a sudden you're coming to a point where you're cleaning, or you might start having this sense of odd behaviour where you're co-creating or becoming artistic or tapping into aspects of yourself that you had long forgotten, and suddenly they've come back up again for you to actually work on. And they're there for a reason. They're part of your actual path. Okay, you're very concerned that you have no power, but you do have power, and it's challenging you to understand that. It's asking you to take your power back, to step into your power. You need to do the work. If you don't do the work, you're not going to have the forward motion. So where you're feeling that things are unsteady, unstable, try and focus your energy onto you. Because that's as simple as it needs to be. It can be get grounded, start working on you, start doing what you need to do. I do feel you're very tired from this process, but it does feel like a very temporary energy. Okay, like I said, I was physically feeling there is a T-section in the road. There's a left and a right situation, and you're coming to a point where you're needing to put the pieces of the puzzle back together. And due to this fatigue, you're wanting to stop. You're wanting to quit. But each time you've tried to do that, something has woken you up to do it again. This is actually the key, because this is when it's going to happen. Not all the time is required to manifest, because depending on the time frame of separation and connection and separation, however your journey's gone, what you'll find is it's when you truly trust and just know it's going to come. It's when you just give up to the point where you're not sending a frequency, because many times your connection with the plug can actually prevent forward motion. So you have to be very careful about how you use that connection. When you're physically connecting in, Your twin, the masculine, can sense it's okay. There's no need to work on myself. They're going to be here forever. You owning your power to a point where you're physically doing your work, following your dreams, not putting your life on hold. You have to understand that any person who's put in your path was absolutely necessary for that transition, for your life purpose. So be it there's someone in your life, and I feel this is more for, don't ever feel bad if someone enters your life because it's part of your journey. Anyone down to a person sitting at the shops, a person coming up to you in the shopping centre, or somebody that you spend a year with, or a friend, for instance. Each person is directly interlinked into your connection through your journey, but no one person will miss out in this scenario. So there is a video I'm going to be doing, and it's connected to a question that a person has inboxed me, and I will be doing that soon. But these soul contracts, they're for the benefit of you and the person who's in that soul contract with you. So it's part of their growth cycle as well. So don't think it's you're robbing them. The aspect and the learning connected to it is for both parties, not just for one. So the people that come into your life can help remove those blocks. But at times, while you're lying dormant, waiting, and you're plugged into this person, be very careful, because they can sense that frequency and they can become nonchalant to a point where they physically won't move, where their energy won't change, where they won't learn the lessons that are necessary for their soul path. And that codependency that can come through can actually really hinder the both of you with any sense of forward motion. Okay, so at the moment, both of you are feeling upside down, connected to the connection, connected to the heart-to-heart conversations, connected to the letting go. But, like I said, one of you, you've swapped energies, because it's like at the moment, the first week I'm feeling, neither the masculine nor the feminine are going to be doing anything, and it's a temporary pause. The pause is so that you guys can gather the information. You've been working so hard at it, at life, at, with lessons, that it's like you're in the middle of the eye of a storm, and what's to come is on its way, and it's asking you to please rest. That's what I'm hearing. Please rest. Let yourself. What could possibly happen? Sleep. Do what you got to do. And it'll bring the balance back for the happy times. I do feel the tables turned though. I am feeling as though there has, as I said, been an energy shift. And I do feel if it hasn't happened, it is going to happen. In a sense of a conversation is going to happen. And I can visually see the way it's going to play out is going to be a very kind of a swapped energy, where for the feminine, you need to understand, vibrationally speaking, you will physically know if this person's ready. And the reason I say that is because, as I said, you're plugged in, but the tone in which it's said, the words in which are used, and the body language as such will all connect with you. And I feel as though what is being relayed and what is being received are two different things. So you will retreat, because what you're hearing, what you know, and it's true. It's not that this person is lying, and lying in a sense of they're lying to themselves. So I see you removing yourself from the situation to a point that you're putting your foot down. And I do feel for some of the feminine, this is going to be a very odd energy. And this energy is due to you actually asserting yourself to a point you're saying, this is not acceptable. Yes, I love you, but this behaviour is not at my benchmark. My benchmark was here. I would go to hell and back with you, but now I will, connected to it being equal. So your energy has changed to a point where you're standing in your power, you're very calm within your energy, and you would rather wait, I'm hearing. You would rather wait than have to do that over because you've learnt an aspect of a lesson. But you're also the key to them receiving their lesson connected to that aspect. So by them physically seeing this behaviour within you, it can cause a shift, a complete shift within the union. Okay, that's what we got for the ones that are moving further or closer to the point. It doesn't make their journey any less than the ones previous, because the ones previous that are coming through will travel through what you guys have physically traveled through, and hopefully we can make some of their journeys a little bit easier. But unless you can actually get through the blockages, the ego, and let these things go, learn these lessons, there is no correct time, there's no magic solution. Do the work, and always follow your gut, always follow your instincts. If you're having a low day, don't look at a video. If you're having a day where you're confused, go to sleep, let it be. Work with your body, your intuition, and get very grounded and tapped into the connection in the universe, the way it's trying to communicate with you, because they're there to help you, not to hinder you. Okay, so let's pull some cards for... But it does feel the energy will shift. It's a temporary 1 week energy I'm feeling from when you hear this, whenever that be. From there moving forward, that's what I'm hearing. That there will be a declaration, a conversation, but for a week. Understand that the both of you are having some downtime, resting and recouping in order to move forward. Now, this may happen sooner, but at the moment, the energy I'm getting is this is what's happening between the two. Okay. Let's find out what's happening with Team A. Okay. This is becoming very confusing for Team A, I'm feeling. Don't wish for it to happen quicker. Don't. Because your lessons, what you need to learn, what you need to feel, it even boding well is part of the aspect of the transition. So it's nothing you can fast forward. It's very hard to not take the energy personally. It's very hard to not take the transition and the lessons personally. When you're on the other side of the situation, the vibration you hold connected to what transpires is not connected to judgment, guilt, hate. To remove those energies can take a very long time, and it's a very long emotional, spiritual journey to come to that very peaceful place where you can unconditionally love any person at that level without that sense of judgment. And we can never say we don't judge. All of us do judge. But it's a different vibration once you've traveled through that energy. Who you are as a human being is a very receptive, open person, because the way you will deal with another human being will be very supportive, very understanding, very calm, very grounded. Now, that doesn't happen forever, but, and when I say forever, I'm meaning you are just completely a different person. The way in which you perceive the world will not be the same as your traditional human being walking down the road, because you're going to help other people. You don't understand that it doesn't just have to do with you and your twin. You and your twin are very, very special. And I'm not taking away from that. But what I'm trying to say is who you will physically become on the other side of this journey will be important to your mother, your father, your siblings, your aunties, your uncles, their children, to help people understand a different way of loving, a different way of tolerating. You're an important aspect to this journey, and you need to own that and understand that it's a gift for you and it's a gift for other people. Okay. So it is becoming challenging for you guys at the moment, and I feel that is more, I'm hearing feminine. I'm hearing the feminine really struggling with it at the moment. Almost wanting to block that aspect of it out and just wanting to cut to the chase and, you know, why can't we just start over? This is what I'm hearing this week. Just that sheer frustration. Why can't it just be? Why can't we fast forward? And I sort of see the energy bouncing from one side to another. So it feels like you're getting to a point where you're thinking, oh, I just got to go with the flow. And then straight onto it, oh, this is ridiculous. Work with it. Hear what you're feeling. Because the more you tap into the energy of the way you're actually sensing, feeling, the more you're having that sense of self-awareness. And that's a very important aspect of it. It's actually owning your own feelings. Owning your own dreams as well. That's a huge lesson inside itself connected to the twin flame journey, and that's for A or B. You really need to have your own sense of identity, because although you're one, you also are your own. And no one person can ever be balanced without the yin and the yang, and technically you are the yin and the yang, so you need to have that aspect to give within the relationship, and you're forgetting that. I feel a sense of you thinking that this person is above you, but you're lowering yourself to a point where you don't need to. It was never, it's not about that. You need to have your own sense of happiness, your own sense of, nobody can give that, and it's that fear connected to, can you do it? Yet if it was for your twin, you would. So why can't you then do that for yourself? And that's a huge test to learn. So at the moment, the feminine is going through great sadness connected to this, connected to the frustration of not really feeling safe. And at the moment, it's due to the lack of unity connected within the union. But opportunities are coming towards you, and you need to see them for what they are, and you need to act on them. Don't delay, because part of it is a learning journey. So this could be a physical person. And you need to go with your gut and trust that in an aspect, because if it's a lesson and it's a person, maybe you've come to that crossroad and you're thinking, well, a person has actually offered me a relationship. The only person who can answer that is you. How you feel about that, and if you could handle that. Financially as well, you are putting the dots together connected to money. Now, on a monetary front, the one energy for Group A, the feminine will go through a series of emotions, and this can be connected to your mother and father, your house and home, what you state is safety. So some of these things are things you can actually write down in order to have that understanding of why you're feeling a particular way and why it's blocking you from actually having a sense of movement and a sense of safety. So these aspects can be connected to, for you, what is safety. So it could be a physical person, it could be a location, it could be money. And then you need to question why you physically have connected the dots that equals that. Because that's going to tell you a lot about where your blocks are happening and how to actually work on them in order to really challenge your fears to come out of that energy that is actually physically trapping you. It's very tempting to not do it, but if you don't, it will delay union. Okay, so the masculine at the moment, in a sense of relationship, is reviewing and assessing what he wants. And due to environments, he's not being as, this is what you want to avoid. He might look detached. He may feel that he wants to be elsewhere, but he's still, because we've still got the same cards, he's still working his heart chakra. So by you sorting yours out, you're going to find he's going to sort his domain out, connected to the heart, connected to relationships. You need to trust. There may be an announcement as well connected to a relationship, and it may be a function that he might attend, which again, with the connections to that, what you can find is connected to the heart. This helps them do the work to assess how they feel while they're away from you and what it physically means. So it can be an event, a graduation, a wedding, a party. Something connected to an event they're physically attending will be a vibrational change to help them see where they're going. They're not wanting to do an aspect of the work because they're actually not ready to do it. So that's what's blocking them as well. But can you see the commonality between the two here? If the feminine is doing the internal work of where she's being blocked, the masculine in turn will have that energy where they will start dealing with it. So if one isn't doing it, the other, because it's a team effort and it's a job that both of you have. So you both need to be working on that. And the only way, you can't make this person do that, but by you physically working on it, the energy that is connected in actually assists the unblocks to happen within the masculine. And the same vice versa. So as they're working on things, all of a sudden environmentally you might feel a shift connected to feeling very anxious and having to deal with certain aspects. Okay, they're sticking up for who they are and they're saying, at the moment, this is what I physically need to do. I don't want to deal with certain aspects, but this will be their trigger point, the party, for them to see a sense of difference. Okay, and it may be a friend's. Okay, so you may have an offer coming in. Be playful with your life. You don't have to do anything. It could just boost your self-esteem. And the masculine's letting his friends help him. So he's becoming grounded, and it could be through this party or through, it could be connected to a friend. There is a connection there that is actually going to flick the dynamic to turn an aspect of his heart chakra on. And for you, you need to be more grounded and not grounded, playful. Use your energy lightly. Don't be so hard on yourself. Be aware of things that are blocking you and take it in baby steps, be it. Okay, so you are loving yourself at the moment because you're aware, and you are also, because you're tired, able to let go of control, which is healthy, and it will bring you into a playful energy, which again is healthy. So the masculine's letting his friends help him, and he is considering the aspect of the relationship connected to you. And in their life, they're paying attention to their red flags. So they're letting friends help. And they're seeing in their life how in certain ways things weren't correct. Now for you guys, because you're a bit further back in the journey, it could be a week behind. It could be anything. Do look at both of them, because for the ones that are further along, you could be smack bang in the middle, and you could go through this energy and bang into the next week, into the next energy. So take what you can from both and apply it to your given situation. Otherwise you will need to book a reading, because the different blocks and the areas that can come up will be directly related to a perception and an understanding of how to deal with the energy. So knowing how to deal with the energy can help that movement come about in a better way, and it can actually help your sense of growth, because ultimately that's what's important as well. So I hope this has helped, and I'll get back to you guys soon. Look after yourselves.